Welcome to our channel. From hidden errors to remarkable conditions, these Washington quarters are the ones every collector dreams of finding. Stick around, and let's uncover the stories and surprises behind each one. You won't believe some of the rare treasures we've discovered. Get ready to see coins that could completely change the way you look at your spare change. It's easy to overlook the coins we use every day. They sit in our pockets, pass through our hands, and most of the time, we never think twice about them. But sometimes, one ordinary-looking coin can turn out to be something truly special. The quarter we're talking about today is one of those coins, the 1967 Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like any other from the 1960s, but a few of these coins have a story that surprises even experienced collectors. Now, before we talk about how valuable this coin can be, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1967 quarter stand out in the first place. The 1960s were a time of big changes for U.S. coinage. Up until 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, solid coins that had real metal value. But as silver prices rose, the U.S. Mint faced a problem. People started hoarding coins for their silver content, and that caused a national coin shortage. To fix that, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, removing silver from quarters and dimes altogether. By 1967, the Mint was producing quarters made of a clad composition, a core of pure copper sandwiched between two layers of copper nickel. The result was a durable coin that looked silver but wasn't. It was cheaper to produce and helped the Mint meet the country's growing demand for coins. Because of the hoarding problem, the Mint also stopped using mint marks during this period. So, all 1967 quarters, whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, have no mint mark at all. This makes it difficult to tell exactly where each coin was made, and it adds a bit of mystery to coins from these years. In 1967, more than 1.5 billion quarters were struck, so by the numbers alone, this coin shouldn't be rare. But as is often the case in coin collecting, the real story lies in the small details. Mistakes happen. Machines fail. And every so often, a few coins come out of the presses just a little different, creating varieties and errors that collectors love to find. The 1967 Washington quarter is known to have several interesting error types that make certain examples much more valuable. One of the most well-known is the off-center strike, where the design isn't perfectly aligned on the coin. Some show just a small shift, while others are dramatically off, with parts of the design missing. Another type of error is the double die, when the coin's image is struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a shadow-like effect on the lettering or numbers. Double die quarters are rare from this year, but when they do show up, collectors are willing to pay a premium. There are also struck-on wrong planchet errors, which are among the most valuable for 1967. These happen when a coin blank intended for a different denomination, like a dime or a foreign coin, ends up in the quarter press. Because of their size and metal composition, these errors can look and feel different, and they often weigh less than a normal quarter. But one of the most fascinating possibilities from 1967 is the chance that a few quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, blanks that should have been phased out after 1964 but may have remained in the mint's machinery. These coins are extremely rare and easy to miss, but they have one big difference: their weight. A normal clad 1967 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter from earlier years weighs around 6.25 grams. The edge of the coin is another giveaway. Clad quarters show a thin copper line, while silver quarters have a solid white or silver edge. Collectors who suspect they have a 1967 silver quarter usually send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. If confirmed, those coins become some of the most desirable modern mint errors in existence. Because these coins were made for circulation, most 1967 quarters show wear, scratches, dull surfaces, and worn-down details. But coins that were set aside early and kept in perfect shape are much harder to find. Coin grading services use a scale from 1 to 70 to describe a coin's condition. Anything graded MS 60 or higher is considered uncirculated, with no signs of wear. Coins graded MS-65 and above are what collectors call gem condition, coins that look nearly flawless under magnification. For the 1967 quarter, examples graded MS-67 or MS-68 are especially rare. The surfaces of clad coins tend to show small marks easily, so finding one with clean fields and full mint luster is difficult. This coin was minted during a transitional period, when the U.S. was moving away from precious metals and into a more practical system. The decision to remove silver changed how people thought about coins. They were no longer small pieces of wealth in themselves, but simply a tool for trade. Out of more than 1 billion coins struck that year, only a tiny fraction show major mint errors, and even fewer were made on the wrong metal. The odds of finding one in circulation today are extremely low, but not impossible. There have been reports of a few coins that tested as 90% silver, believed to have been struck by accident on leftover planchets from earlier years. These coins look just like regular 1967 quarters but have that heavier feel and distinct ring that only silver coins make. There are also known proof-like examples from special mint sets, higher quality coins struck with more care than regular circulation strikes. While they aren't true proofs, the highest graded examples can be quite valuable, especially when they show sharp details and minimal marks. One verified 1967 quarter struck on a silver planchet was graded in exceptional condition and sold at auction for a price that surprised everyone. Collectors recognized immediately how unique it was, a genuine mistake from an era of major change at the mint. When the final hammer fell, that single quarter brought an incredible $117,000. Next up, we have a coin that most people wouldn't look at twice, the 1985 P. Washington quarter. It's one of those coins that seems completely ordinary at first glance, the kind you might still find in your change today. But a few rare examples of this coin have made collectors stop and look closer, and in some cases, they've turned out to be worth an incredible amount of money. The 1985 quarter might not seem old, but it belongs to a time when the U.S. Mint was refining its modern coin production process. By then, silver had been gone from quarters for 2 decades, and the clad copper-nickel composition was the new standard. Still, quality control at the mint wasn't perfect, and certain production runs in the mid-1980s produced coins that today are considered exceptional finds. This particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's what the small P mark stands for on the obverse, right next to George Washington's ponytail. The Philadelphia Mint had been using its mint mark again since the late 1970s, after dropping it for a while. In 1985, the facility struck hundreds of millions of quarters, most of which went straight into everyday circulation. So, what could possibly make one 1985 P quarter different from the rest? The answer lies in the quality of the strike and the preservation of the coin itself. The mint was pushing high production numbers during that time, and the dies, the tools used to strike the coin's design, often wore down quickly. As a result, many quarters from this year came out with soft details, light strikes, or weak lettering. That means that truly sharp, well-struck examples are far harder to find. On most 1985 P quarters, you'll notice that Washington's hair appears flat or the eagle on the reverse side looks a little soft. But when you come across a coin that has every feather, letter, and line clearly visible, you're looking at something special. Condition, as always, plays a huge role in a coin's value. Because these quarters were released into circulation, the majority picked up nicks, scratches, and dull surfaces from everyday use. Finding one that survived without that wear is challenging. Collectors look for coins in mint state, meaning they have never been used and retain their original shine. The grading scale used by professionals ranges from 1 to 70, and anything above MS-65 is considered exceptional. A 1985 P quarter in grades like MS-67 or MS-68 can be extremely rare. Most coins don't even come close, since the metal used in modern quarters tends to show small marks easily. Another key factor for collectors is the coin's luster, the way light reflects off the surface. Quarters with a bright, almost satiny glow and no contact marks are especially desirable. When combined with a sharp strike and clean details, these are the pieces that stand out during professional grading. There are also a few error varieties known from 1985, though not as many as earlier decades. Some examples show off-center strikes, die cracks, or light doubling on the lettering. These aren't common, but they do add value depending on how visible the error is. A clean, strong off-center strike or a clear double die could bring a nice premium from collectors who specialize in mint mistakes. Still, the most valuable examples of the 1985 P quarter are those perfect, high-grade coins that never saw a day of circulation. They might have come from original mint rolls or sets that were stored carefully for decades. Because so few exist in flawless condition, even one or two additional grading points can make a huge difference in price. Interestingly, the 1985 P quarter also serves as a reminder of how minor production variations can lead to major differences in value. Two coins struck seconds apart on the same press can end up in completely different categories, one ordinary, the other extraordinary. That's part of the thrill for collectors, knowing that a small detail or a subtle flaw can transform a common coin into something rare. Some experts also note that coins from this period show differences in the metal finish depending on how fresh the dies were. A newly polished die could produce a mirror-like surface that gives the coin a proof-like appearance, even though it wasn't made as a proof. When those are preserved well, they become especially sought after. Even the storage environment matters. Coins kept in humid or acidic conditions often develop spots or haze, while those stored in dry, stable places keep their bright, original look. It's one reason that condition-sensitive collectors are willing to pay so much more for a coin that has aged beautifully over time. For most circulated 1985 P quarters, the value remains face value, 25 cents. Uncirculated ones might bring a few dollars. But for those top-tier examples that combine excellent preservation, strong detail, and perfect surfaces, the story changes dramatically. One particular 1985 P Washington quarter, graded at an elite level, caught the attention of serious collectors. It was perfectly struck, with crisp lines and a brilliant finish that's rarely seen on coins from this period. When the bidding ended, that single 1985 P quarter changed hands for an incredible $73,000. So if you come across a 1985 P quarter that looks unusually sharp, with bright surfaces and no signs of wear, it's worth taking a closer look. You might even want to weigh it and check the finer details before spending it. The next coin on our list is a fascinating piece of modern minting history, the 1990 D Washington quarter. To most people, it's just another quarter, the same size, weight, and color as the ones in your pocket. But for collectors, certain 1990 D quarters are a rare anomaly, a reminder that even in modern coin production, mistakes can create extraordinary treasures. At first glance, a 1990 D quarter looks completely normal. The familiar profile of George Washington graces the obverse, while an eagle spreads its wings on the reverse. The D mint mark signals it came from the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the country at the time. But hidden within that massive production run are coins that don't quite fit the mold, errors so rare they instantly become highly sought after by collectors. One of the most famous errors from this year involves off-center strikes. During the minting process, the coin blank must sit perfectly in the press. But sometimes it shifts slightly. The result? A quarter where the design is not perfectly aligned. The degree of the misalignment can vary, some coins show just a small shift, while others look almost as if the design was cut in half. For collectors, the more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. Another fascinating variation comes from coins struck on the wrong planchet. This occurs when a blank intended for another coin, perhaps a dime or even a foreign coin, ends up in the quarter press. The metal, weight, and thickness might be slightly different, giving the coin a distinct feel in your hand. It might not look unusual at first, but once you compare it to a normal quarter, the differences become clear. Collectors also love double dies, subtle duplications in the lettering or numbers that appear like shadows on the coin's surface. These doubling errors are rare, but when discovered, they make a coin instantly recognizable and highly desirable. Even tiny imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, can make the difference between an everyday quarter and a collector's gem. Beyond errors, some 1990 D quarters have surprisingly sharp details and proof-like surfaces, despite being produced for general circulation. This is unusual because coins meant for everyday use typically show softer strikes and minor imperfections. A crisp 1990 D quarter with strong luster and clean fields can attract attention, even if it doesn't have a major error. So if you come across a 1990 D quarter that looks slightly different, maybe the design is off-center, the coin feels unusually heavy or light, or the lettering appears doubled, it's worth examining closely. Even coins tucked away in old change jars or forgotten collections could hide one of these rare anomalies. Experienced collectors know that paying attention to weight, edges, and surface detail can reveal surprises you wouldn't expect. The story behind these errors is part of what makes them so captivating. They are snapshots of a moment in time, frozen in metal. Every off-center strike, every wrong planchet quarter, and every doubled die tells a story of human oversight and mechanical imperfection at one of the largest mints in the United States. Holding one is like holding a piece of minting history in your hand. Adding to the intrigue, some of these quarters display unique tonal qualities, subtle color shifts, or unusual reflections under light, small details that may go unnoticed at first but can confirm its rarity to a trained eye. Coins like these spark excitement in collector circles, often sparking debates and detailed studies among experts who analyze every mark and imperfection. Some collectors even keep magnifying glasses or digital microscopes handy, knowing that spotting a tiny anomaly can turn a simple quarter into a standout item. Patience and attention to detail are key. Sometimes, the rarest coins are hiding in plain sight, mixed in with ordinary change. Even the tiniest scratches, faint lines, or unusual edges can be critical clues for determining whether a coin is ordinary or extraordinary. Coins are not just currency, they are miniature pieces of history, each with its own story. And the thrill of discovery often lies in the subtle details that most people overlook. After thorough evaluation, authentication, and careful verification, one of these rare 1990 D error quarters has been valued at an astonishing $66,000. That's right, a coin that could easily be mistaken for change in your pocket has been recognized as a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's a remarkable reminder that the most ordinary objects can sometimes hold extraordinary value. For collectors, this quarter is more than just a coin, it's a piece of a larger story about modern minting, rare mistakes, and the thrill of discovery. It reminds us that paying attention to the details can lead to incredible finds. And for the casual observer, it's proof that even the coins in your change jar might be hiding something extraordinary, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. So next time you reach for a quarter, take a closer look. Examine the edges, weigh it if you can, and don't dismiss the ones that feel slightly unusual. Sometimes, that ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be a modern minting marvel, one that brings history, and perhaps fortune, right into your hands. And remember, while most quarters will pass unnoticed, a rare few can change a collector's life forever. Every coin has a story, but the errors, the anomalies, and the unexpected surprises are the ones that truly make history shine. Keep your eyes open, your next great discovery could be hiding right in your pocket. Now let's move on to a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but hides a remarkable story, the 1995 D Washington quarter. At a glance, it seems like any other quarter from the mid-1990s, George Washington's profile on the front, a soaring eagle on the back, and the small D mint mark indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. But for coin collectors, this seemingly everyday piece holds secrets that can make it incredibly valuable. The mid-1990s were a time of streamlined minting processes. The U.S. Mint had modernized equipment, ensuring faster production and higher quality control. Millions of quarters were struck each year, and most circulated widely, changing hands countless times. But despite these improvements, the minting process wasn't flawless. Tiny errors slipped through, and some of those coins survived, creating some of the rarest modern minting anomalies. One of the most sought-after variations in the 1995 D series is the off-center strike. During the minting process, the coin blank must be perfectly aligned in the press. Occasionally, it shifted slightly or dramatically, causing a portion of the design to be missing or skewed. Collectors prize these coins because no two are alike. Some show subtle misalignment, while others look almost as though half the coin never received the design at all. Another striking anomaly comes from coins struck on slightly damaged or defective dies. These can create die cracks, raised lines, or unusual textures on the coin's surface. While some might see them as imperfections, collectors recognize them as unique signatures of the minting process. Each die crack tells a story about the machine, the metal, and the careful yet imperfect art of coin production. Doubled dies are another fascinating aspect of this coin. On these rare examples, letters, numbers, or parts of the eagle's feathers appear to be duplicated, like a ghostly shadow. These errors require close inspection and sometimes magnification to detect, making them a treasure for those who know where to look. Interestingly, some 1995 D quarters also exhibit proof-like qualities. Proof-like coins are normally produced with extra care for collectors, but in rare cases, circulation coins were struck with unusually strong details and high luster. These coins stand out immediately, reflecting light in a way that ordinary quarters do not, and giving even minor anomalies a striking appearance. So if you come across a 1995 D quarter that looks slightly different, pay attention. Maybe the design is misaligned, the edges show irregularities, or the lettering appears doubled. Maybe the surface has a reflective, almost mirror-like quality. Even coins that appear to be just spare change could conceal one of these rare errors. The rarity of these coins comes from both the nature of the error and the coin's survival. Millions were produced, but only a handful of misstruck coins escaped circulation intact. Most were lost, damaged, or worn down, making surviving examples all the more valuable. Collectors often spend years searching through rolls of quarters, old collections, or jars of loose change to find these hidden treasures. Storage conditions also play a huge role in a coin's appeal. Some 1995 D quarters have developed unique toning over the years, with shades of gold, copper, or blue adding to their allure. Others retain crisp edges, strong relief, and clean fields that make them visually striking. These details can significantly enhance a coin's desirability among collectors. Experienced numismatists often use tools like magnifying glasses, microscopes, and scales to detect anomalies. A slight difference in weight, a tiny line along the edge, or a subtle misalignment can reveal a coin's hidden story. Even small details that seem insignificant can transform a mundane quarter into a prized collectible. The history behind the 1995 D quarter adds to its fascination. Produced during a time of modernization at the Denver Mint, these coins represent a period when the mint was balancing efficiency with quality. The rare errors remind us that even in highly controlled processes, unexpected surprises can occur, creating remarkable opportunities for collectors. After careful verification and examination, one of these extraordinary 1995 D era quarters has been valued at $59,000. Yes, a coin that could easily be overlooked in your pocket or piggy bank is recognized as an exceptional modern minting marvel, carrying a value that most people would never suspect. For collectors, this coin is more than just currency. It is a tangible link to a specific moment in minting history, a reminder that imperfections can make an object truly extraordinary. Every off-center strike, doubled die, and unusual toning pattern tells a story of human craftsmanship, mechanical quirks, and the unpredictable nature of production. So next time you sort through old coins, take a moment to examine each one carefully. Look for misalignments, odd reflections, doubled letters, or unusual textures. Sometimes, a simple quarter can turn into a rare find, proving that extraordinary treasures often hide in the most ordinary places. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a casual observer, the 1995 D Washington quarter stands as a testament to the thrill of discovery, the beauty of rare errors, and the value of paying attention to the details in even the most common objects. Keep your eyes open, your next great find could be just a pocket away. In the last spot on today's list, we have a coin that carries both historical significance and modern appeal, the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter. At first glance, it might seem like any other quarter, with George Washington on the obverse and a commemorative design on the reverse. But this coin tells a story that goes far beyond everyday currency. This quarter is part of the American Women Quarters program, celebrating women who have made a profound impact on the nation's history. Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, is honored here, a symbol of courage, determination, and breaking barriers. For many collectors, coins like this are not just objects, they are pieces of history, capturing the achievements of remarkable individuals. The design itself is visually striking. Dr. Ride is depicted in her spacesuit, looking poised and determined, with the Earth and stars forming a subtle, detailed background. The fine details in her helmet, suit, and the celestial backdrop make the coin a miniature work of art. Collectors often appreciate these intricate designs, as they require both artistic skill and precision in minting. But what makes some 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarters especially intriguing are the errors and variations that occasionally appear. Even in modern minting, mistakes can occur. Some coins may be slightly off-center, show doubled lettering, or have minor surface imperfections. These small anomalies are fascinating to collectors because they make a coin unique, setting it apart from the standard issue. The condition of the coin also plays a crucial role in its appeal. Coins that have been carefully preserved, with crisp details and a bright, reflective surface, tend to attract more attention. Even tiny scratches or dull spots can affect how a coin is perceived. A well-maintained 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter is considered much more desirable, whether it is kept in a collection or displayed for its historical significance. So if you come across a 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter in circulation, in a jar of change, or within a collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine the alignment of the design, inspect for any unusual marks, and notice how the light reflects off its surface. A coin that might initially appear ordinary could hide subtle features that make it truly remarkable. Collectors and enthusiasts know that the most captivating coins aren't always the oldest or the rarest. Sometimes, they are modern pieces that tell a story or feature a small mistake that happened during the minting process. Each error, each unusual characteristic, adds to the coin's narrative, making it more than just a monetary token. Even beyond errors and condition, this coin carries a sense of pride and inspiration. It represents breaking barriers in science and space exploration, reminding us of what determination and curiosity can achieve. It's the kind of coin that can spark conversations, educate young collectors, and even inspire future generations to reach for the stars. Some quarters in circulation may seem ordinary until you notice the slight variations in luster, edge finish, or surface texture. Those differences can make a coin stand out, turning it from a common piece of change into something collectible. Paying attention to these details is part of the excitement of coin collecting. Holding a Dr. Sally Ride quarter is also a way to connect with American history in a tangible form. It's a symbol of innovation, courage, and the stories that often go untold. Coins like these remind us that every piece of currency can carry meaning far beyond its face value. Many collectors also enjoy documenting the coins they find, comparing notes with fellow enthusiasts, and sharing images online. This kind of engagement helps people recognize rare varieties or subtle errors that might otherwise go unnoticed. Every small difference can tell a story about the minting process or highlight the care taken to preserve the coin. So if you're sorting through your change or checking an old coin roll, take a moment to inspect this modern tribute. Its condition, design, and possible minting quirks could make it a noteworthy addition to any collection. Even without assigning a specific price, it's clear that this coin could be special in the right hands. Remember, coins like this are more than currency, they are reminders of accomplishments, moments in history, and the people who inspire generations. Even a single coin can spark curiosity, admiration, and a deeper appreciation for the stories behind the metal. Additionally, this coin can serve as a conversation starter, drawing attention to the accomplishments of women in STEM and the legacy of American space exploration. It can also motivate young collectors to explore more about coin designs and the stories they carry. Taking time to carefully observe the coin's details, from the fine lines on Dr. Ride's suit to the subtle reflections on the background, adds to the joy of collecting. Each time you hold it, you are reminded of the power of discovery and perseverance. It's a coin that can be appreciated for both its artistry and the history it represents. In the end, the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter is more than just money, it's history you can hold, an emblem of achievement, and a collectible that could be worthy because of its condition and any errors it may have. Take a careful look, treasure what you find, and remember that sometimes the most ordinary coin in your pocket can turn out to be extraordinary. Thanks so much for joining us on today's coin adventure. If you enjoyed exploring these rare finds and want to stay updated on more fascinating coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring more stories of history, rarity, and discovery straight to you. And if you found today's coins interesting, leave a comment below. We love hearing about your own coin discoveries.